Good day, ma'am. I am Jelena Albon, and our title research is Assessment on the Food Safety Practices of Bakeries. This research proposal presented to the faculty of the Department of Hotel and Restaurant Technology, Mindanao State University, Maigo School of Arts and Trades in Maigo, Lanao del Norte, in partial fulfillment of the requirement for the course HTM 198, Research in the Tourism and Hospitality Industry. I am the first reporter of our group, so I will be discussing the Chapter 1. The Chapter 1, they have rationale, conceptual framework, statement of the problem, null hypothesis, significance of the study, scope and limitation of study, and definition of terms. The food service industry has a duty to those they serve to deliver a product that is free of potential harm. This is a simple statement to make, but it is not a simple act to perform and perpetuate. The rules and regulation for bakery sanitation and food hygiene must be followed and practiced so that the products being manufactured are safe and clear of any and all hazards. In the present, the coronavirus 19 was declared by the World Health Organization or WHO as a global pandemic due to its rapid and extensive spread among many countries. As a result, ensuring the cleanliness and safety of goods, such as baked goods, are highly observed and implemented. Thus, food service operators were among the first workers in frontline employment sectors experiencing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Challenges in food safety are present throughout the food supply chain, and it remains a growing concern globally. Food safety refers to the protection of consumers from foodborne diseases and other health-related conditions brought by the exposure to hazard present in food production. Moreover, consumers expect to buy breads and pastries that are safe to eat, whether it is a purchase for preparation in the home or prepared by others and purchased for consumption at a restaurant or other food service establishment. Baked goods are expected to be free of hazards that might cause discomfort, illness, or death. Proper food hygiene is essential to ensure that the bread and pastry products meant for the marketplace are safe for customers to consume. When recommended practices are followed, the reputation of a business of the health of its customers are protected. Of course, observance of the good hygiene practices is also a requirement of the law. So we're going to discuss our conceptual framework. These studies consist of two main variables: the independent variable, where is food safety procedures among the bakeries in Tubod, Lanao del Norte, and the independent variables is the degree of customer satisfactions toward the food safety procedures in the bakeries. So I am going to discuss the independent variable on food safety procedures. So the first one is the personal hygiene of the bakery staff. Second is the food contamination prevention. Third is the food preparation. And lastly is the food storage. So in the dependent variable, customer degrees of satisfaction or assessment. Next is the statement of the problem. So this study will determine the food safety practices of bakeries in Tubod, Lanao del Norte. Especially, it is desired to answer the following questions. 1. What is the respondent demographic profile? The working age, job position, employment status, educational employment, and seminars and training attended. 2. What is the level of practice in the food safety procedures in the bakeries in terms of personal hygiene, cross-contamination prevention, food storage, food preparation, and knowledge on health problem? 3. Is there a significant relationship between the level of practice on the food safety procedures in the bakeries with growth with profile? Statement of hypothesis. The following hypothesis will be tested 0.05 level of significance. There is no significant relationship between the level of practice in the food safety procedures in the bakeries with growth with profile. The significance of the study. This study will benefit the following people of organization. Number one is the business owners. It will provide them a lot of strategies on how to maintain and observe cleanliness in their business establishment thus. Implementation of proper hygiene among the workers. 2. The customers. The result of this study will make the customer know if the food they are going to purchase is tested under the protocols of food safety procedures. Thus, this can provide an enhancement of their thinking capacity of which food to purchase. And then lastly is the aspiring food entrepreneur. The result of this study will provide the basic of proper food handling and sanitation, health guidelines and protocols, and what should be considered before establishing a food business. Next is the health and food safety and inspection agencies. If possible, the result of this study will be used as guidelines and analysis in inspecting and ensuring the observance of proper food handling and food safety procedures among the food establishment in Tubud, Lanao del Norte by the local food safety inspection agency like FDA and DTI. Next is the future researcher. This study will help the future researchers in conducting a study related to food safety and customer satisfaction. Thus, the result of this study will serve as the future references for future studies. Next is the scope and limitation of the study. The purpose of the study is to determine the food safety practices of bakeries in Tubud, Lanao del Norte in terms of drawing out a target for company establishment. As a result, the status of the study respondents will be mainly focused on local business in Tubud, particularly in customer satisfaction. In this study, bakeries will be excluded and the procedures will be examined regarding in the strategies, facilities, customer service given, and current challenges in the business of having. These studies will look into and develop technologies that will help owners manage and connect with customers. Next is the operational definition of terms. The following terms are operationally and conceptually defined for the study. Number one is the customer satisfaction. The customer satisfaction is defined as a measurement that determines how happy customers are with a company's product, services, and capabilities. It is dependent variable. Number two, food contamination. Food contamination refers to the food presence of harmful chemicals and microorganisms in food, which can cause consumer illness. 3. Foodborne disease. Foodborne illness, also called food poisoning, is an illness caused by eating food that harmful organisms in them. These harmful germs can include bacteria, parasites, and viruses. Number 4. Food safety measures. The term food safety describes all practices that are used to keep our food safe. For example, food packaging plays an important role as a physical barrier to protect food from damage, contamination, and tampering during transport and storage, proper food handling, and sanitation as well. It is an independent variable.
This chapter presents a review of literature and studies that are existing and have bearing to the study. However, only those studies that shows direct findings and relative relevance to this present research. The importance of food safety has everything to do with economics and survival in the business world. Businesses love consumers' confidence and market share experience. Economic cost and hardship face extensive and costly litigation and or maybe even go out of business altogether. If their firm is found to be responsible for a foodborne illnesses. According to Lee, year 2010 believes that food safety has increasingly gained the attention of authorities worldwide. From the cases of foodborne outbreaks, an increase in the diseases related to food safety practices. The Food Safety Act, implemented by the Philippines Food and Drug Administration or the FDA, obliges restaurants and other food establishments to strictly practice proper food handling and promote a food safety culture. Failure to develop such a culture increases the risk of food contamination, which can lead to customer dissatisfaction, as well as potential legal costs. Basic food safety will help you to develop and maintain best food hygiene practices in your workplace. This will enable you to implement a food safety culture so you can reduce risk of contamination, comply with sanitation regulation, ensure customer satisfaction, enhance your reputation, and increase market income. Food safety. In the study of Fang Wang Menon, year 2018, food is essential to life. Hence, food safety is a human right. Billions of people are at risk of unsafe food. Millions of people become sick, while hundreds of thousands of people die yearly. In the 21st century, food safety issues have not decreased. Local outbreaks can turn into international emergencies due to the speed of and range of product distribution. Next is the food handlers. In the study of Bass, Ersam, and Kivang, year 2006, the researchers evaluated the hygiene, attitude, and the practices of food handlers. It shows that some food handlers in Turkish food business most likely have lack of knowledge in terms of food hygiene and possibly in their own personal cleanliness, as well that may result of food contamination that can cause illness to the consumer.
And I'm going to report personal hygiene. According to Zero 2007 and Janet 2002, poor personal hygiene gives a foodborne illness which states that food handlers' knowledge and handling practices need to be improved. Studies on the conditions of food and drink establishment have been minimal in Ethiopia. Food handling. According to Lortzi and Wu Supporting in 2017, since food is handled by many individuals, thereby increasing of chances of food contamination due to improper handling. Deliberate or accidental contamination of food during scale production might endanger of health consumers and very high impact in our country. The researchers concluded that the institutional food handlers have eligible knowledge in food safety, but this not mean into strict hygienic practices during processing and handling of food products. Food establishment. As reported by RNTD et al. In 2017, in terms of securing the safeness of the food service manager is also the person in charge for making sure employees follow safe for handling practice so consumers do not become sick from unsafe food. And what would make managers more effective in their role? Most major thematic categories identified by the managers in this study included role identification, food safety training, manager effectiveness, and understanding why safe food practices are not allowed can help operators delegate accordingly. Making sure that the food served to customers is safe for consumption and precedents for retail service operators such as the hospital, schools, catering, and also should aim in developing managers' effectiveness role understanding, and training to promote as a food safety climate. In the continuation of food handlers, in 2010, the World Health Organization printed a comprehensive assessment for food safety. That analysis includes substantial issues concerning the health implications of interior data and practices in food handling, retained human resources with food safety data, inadequate client awareness, and lack of regulation of street foods and food handlers. Food handlers who received previous food safety coaching had better total food safety data score than people who didn't receive training. Food handlers' responsibilities. According to WHO, or the World Health Organization, in 1989, food handling personnel play a vital role ensuring food safety throughout the chain of food production and storage. Mishandling and ignoring of hygienic way on the part of the food handlers can cause pathogenic bacteria to meat, food, and in some cases survive, and it can cause multiple numbers of illness to cause the consumer. Also, in the study of Kerbert and Abrera 2012, the lack of basic infrastructure, lack of information, of hygienic, absence of potable water, lack of correct storage facility, and unsuitable environments for food operations such as proximity to sewers and garbage dumps will contribute to bad microbic quality of foods. Inadequate facilities for disposal expose any hazard. Additionally, poor sanitary practices in food storage, handling, and preparation will procedure a setting within which microorganisms and different infectious agents are a lot of merely transmitted. Moreover, inadequate time and temperature management and cross-contamination are liable for sickness outbreaks. Food service institutions are sources of foodborne disease, and food handlers to contribute the foodborne medley outbreaks. Mishandling and disrespect of hygienically measures of the part of food handlers might, after an poor personal hygiene, often contributes to a foodborne ailment that indicates that food handlers' information and handling practices are must be improved. The hands of food service workers will be vectors within the unfold of foodborne diseases due to poor personal hygiene or cross-contamination.
Hello, good day ma'am. By the way, I'm Labdochin P. Baglos from group of Albon, Hilig, and De Castro. So for this video, I will discuss the chapter 3, which is research methodology. Chapter 3, research methodology. This chapter details the various research methodologies that are used in the study. This comprises the research design, research environment, respondents of the study, sampling procedure, data gathering procedure, research instrument use, and statistical treatment of data. Research design. This study will engage the descriptive design of research. This type of research will illustrate the data and characteristics about what is being studied. The study will aim to evaluate the food safety practices in bakeries of Tubod, Lanao del Norte. As such, the study will make use of the method will be the most appropriate for the study to further evaluate the challenges in determining food safety practices and sanitation of bakeries amidst of pandemic. Research environment. This study conducted in the municipality of Tubod, Lanao del Norte. The municipality mentioned above has a lot of bakery establishments, and that's why the researchers chose to conduct their study in the selected municipality. The reasons of the researchers why they chose this municipality is they can access the place easily, they can gather data in the direct sources. It can save the time and fair expenses for the researchers. So this is the location map of the study. Respondents of the study sampling procedure. Productive workers are backbone of the hospitality industry. The target sample consisted the bakeries employees from Tubod, Lanao del Norte. The researchers will consolidate the number of employees in each qualification. However, the researcher will employ the use of Cochrane's formula to determine the needed number of respondents for the study. With this, there will be 90 total respondents subjected to the conduct of study using survey questionnaires out of 130 total respondents. The researcher will assume that all the respondents' responses on the survey questionnaires can provide the necessary information which are essential for this research study to realize its intentions. All throughout the researcher's process, the relevant data were gathered have an extensive result on the assessment and analysis of the problem statement presented. A non-purposive random sampling technique was used in determining the sample size needed in the study. Below is the tabular presentation of the number of respondents based on the Cochrane's formula. So this is the distribution of respondents. Respondents are Mr. Baker's, Julie's Bake Shop, Park and Go, Beethoven's, and Pugon Imang. So the total population of Mr. Baker's is 20 and the sample is 15. The total population of Bake Shop is 20 and the sample is 16. The total population of Park and Go is 35 and the sample is 26. The total population of Beethoven's is 25 and the sample is 14. The total population of Pogoni Mang is 30 and the sample is 19. So the total population is 130 and the sample is 90. Research instrument used. A self-report questionnaire was used and focused group discussion as tools in gathering the data will help the researcher in answering directly the problems of the study, leading to the analysis of the data gathered. Scoring procedure. The scoring procedure assesses the respondents' responses on the questions specified in the research instrument using a 4-point Likert scale. Part 1 and 2, which will deal with the respondents' assessment of the strategies in terms of food safety and sanitation. The following represents the scores, ranges, description, and the interpretation which will be useful in the discussion of the data gathered. Score is 1 to 4. So the range of 1 is 1 to 1.99. So the description is strongly disagree. Interpretation is completely disagree. Score number 2 is 2. The range is 2 to 2.75. And the description is disagree. And the interpretation is slightly disagree. So number 3 is the range is 2.75 to 3.50. The description is agree. Interpretation is mostly agree. Score 4 is the range is 3.56 to 4. Description strongly agree. And interpretation completely agree. Data gathering procedure. In data gathering process, the total number of bakery establishments will be concentrated as the basis for determining the required number of respondents of the study. As soon as the questionnaire was validated, researchers wrote and sent a letter of approval to conduct the said data gathering to the LGU for their assistance in informing the respondents the purpose of the study. The distribution of the study questionnaire were personally administered and distributed by the researchers to the bakery owners of the different establishments in Tubod, Lanao del Norte. Furthermore, Whatever the result of the study will be used exclusively for policy enhancement and future studies. The conduct of data gathering will be conducted through questionnaire and focus group discussion based on the availability of the respondents. The respondents will be oriented on the nature of the study upon which the result will be utilized. Statistical tools used. The following statistical tools were used to analyze the data gathered to answer the problem stated in the study. In problem 1, frequency counts and percentage mean will be used in determining the following: the level of assessment of food safety practices, level of assessment of approaches and strategies in terms of food safety and sanitation practices. However, Cochrane formula was used to compute the required number of respondents to be utilized in data gathering. In assessing the reliability and validity of research instrument, the Cronbach alpha was utilized. Furthermore, chi-square will be utilized in determining the significance of sustaining food safety practices of the bakery establishments. That's all. Thank you, ma'am.